The story opens with a man who works as a highly trained lethal assassin. He's hiding inside an abandoned warehouse, sitting calmly in a chair, fully prepared to take out his target. All day, he keeps his eyes locked on the target's house through the window, waiting for the exact moment to strike. 5 days go by without a single glimpse of the target. Finally, he leaves the warehouse under the pretense of going grocery shopping. After buying a few items, he calls his boss to update him. The boss, frustrated, tells him to finish the job fast and collect his payout. The assassin promises that the mission will be wrapped up soon. Before returning to his hideout, he sits quietly outside the target's home, closely watching every guard and passerby. After memorizing their routines, he heads back, resets his position, sets up his rifle, aligns the scope, and waits for his target to appear. When night settles in, he brushes his teeth and lies down, but every 10 minutes the ticking clock wakes him and he checks the house again. Suddenly he hears a sound. His target has arrived with a woman, a dancer. The assassin instantly grabs his rifle and follows the target through his scope. Completely unaware of the danger, the target laughs and dances with the woman. The assassin plans to fire as soon as the target sits on the couch. But at the exact moment he pulls the trigger, the woman steps in front of the target. The bullet hits her, killing her on the spot. He tries to fire again, but the guards slam the window shut, and the shot goes wide. Knowing the mission has failed, he quickly hides his weapon in a sack, wipes away all evidence, and escapes. He flees on an electric scooter, tossing random objects onto the road to confuse the police. A short distance later, he abandons the scooter and continues on foot. As he walks, he throws his helmet into a river to destroy more evidence. He ducks into a grocery store restroom, washes his face, trims his beard, and changes into fresh clothes. He even cleans the bathroom to erase fingerprints. He then books a car ride and heads straight to the airport. Once there, he dumps his gun in a trash can and gets in line for a plane ticket. While waiting, he notices a police dog staring at him. Nervous, he steps out of line and heads to the restroom again to calm himself and clean up. He returns using a fake identity, Felix Anger, and secures a visa. Right before boarding, his employer calls, raging with anger. "What did you do?" The assassin says nothing, ends the call, destroys his phone, and gets on the plane. During the flight, he spots a man suspiciously keeping an eye on him. When the plane lands, he immediately buys another ticket under a new alias. But to his shock, the same mysterious man is already waiting at the terminal. Realizing something is wrong, he postpones his plans until the next day. He checks into a hotel, sets a trap on the door, and waits all night with a knife in hand, ready to defend himself. But nothing happens. The entire night passes in silence. The next day, he boards a flight back to his homeland, the Dominican Republic. When he reaches his house, he finds fresh footprints and a lit cigarette near the entrance. His instincts tell him the truth instantly. Someone has broken in. Without hesitation, he grabs his gun and rushes inside. He finds blood on the floor and realizes someone has attacked. Panicked, he calls his girlfriend. When she finally answers, he races to the hospital. There, he finds her unconscious, in a coma, with his brother sitting beside her. His brother explains everything. 2 assassins, a man and a woman, had broken into the house. Their objective was him. When they couldn't find him, they went after his girlfriend. She fought back hard and barely survived, but suffered severe injuries. Before losing consciousness, she saw the attackers flee in a taxi with a green roof. Understanding the situation completely, the assassin decides to stay at the hospital that night to protect her. A few hours later, his girlfriend wakes weakly and tells him everything. "They tied me up and tortured me," she says in a soft voice. "They wanted information about you. I endured it, but I didn't tell them anything." Rage and sorrow fill his chest. Quietly, he vows revenge. That night, he returns home and opens his secret weapons cache. The next morning, he spends the day hunting the city for the green roof taxi his girlfriend described. After driving through crowded streets all day with no luck, he decides on a different tactic. Late that night, he breaks into the taxi company's office and captures the manager. Forcing him to log into the system, he makes the man track down the driver who had dropped off the 2 assassins. With the driver's details in hand, he leaves. The next day, he waits by the taxi stand. When the driver arrives for work, the assassin follows him, gets into his cab pretending to be a normal passenger. The driver has no idea the man in his back seat is deadly. A few minutes in, the driver looks in the mirror to ask a question, and freezes when he sees the gun pointed at him. Thinking it's a robbery, he hands over his wallet, but the assassin isn't after money. Coldly, he asks, "Where did you drop those 2 passengers off?" Terrified, the driver spills everything. "I picked them up at a private airport," he says. "I dropped them at a house and waited outside. When they returned, both were injured. I didn't ask. After that, I drove them back to the same private airport. That's all I know." He hesitates, then adds, "The man's leg was bleeding badly when they came out." "Sir, please don't kill me," the driver pleads. "I only dropped them off. It's not my fault." The killer orders, "Take me to a secluded place." The driver stammers, "I'll tell you everything. Don't kill me." Suddenly, the killer shoots him and walks away. The assassin then fabricates a new identity and buys a plane ticket to New Orleans to track down the 2 who hurt his girlfriend. In New Orleans, he rents a bus, accesses a secret storage unit, and retrieves several guns and a forged ID. He changes the bus license plate and gets a job at a cleaning company to gain access to restricted buildings. After signing up, he receives a uniform and cleaning supplies and decides to use the cleaner cover to get into his target's workplace. Waiting outside the building, he learns a staff pass is needed to enter. When a cargo truck arrives, he wheels a trash bin to the gate, pretending it's too heavy. The delivery worker takes pity and leaves his pass on the gate and even helps with the elevator so the man can get inside. Once inside, the assassin plays the part of a cleaner until the delivery worker leaves. Then he retrieves his gun and slips into his target's office. There he finds the owner's secretary and forces her at gunpoint to tie the owner up. He threatens to kill her unless she reveals everything about the 2 assassins. The owner pleads, "I had nothing to do with this, I swear." He explains that an angry client complained when a job wasn't completed and that client must have sent the goons. "They attacked your girlfriend because they couldn't find you," the owner says, begging the assassin to assume a new identity and disappear for years so the client can't find him. The killer ignores the warning. He grabs a nearby nail gun, smashes the laptop screen with it, and stares at the owner. "If you don't tell me everything, you'll be next," he snarls. The owner, terrified, insists he's told the truth and begs to be let go. Enraged, the assassin drives nails into the owner's chest.
"You'll drown slowly, and I'll dispose of you."
Grabbing the owner's phone, he demands, "Tell me who those 2 were and where they came from, or you'll die." Before any useful information can be given, the man is already dead. Frustrated and cold-blooded, he decided the secretary had to be silenced too. No witnesses. She, however, quickly guessed his plan and bargained for her life. "You won't let me live," she whispered. "But hide my body where my family will find it so they can collect the life insurance. I'll tell you who the killers are if my children get the payout." He weighed her offer and accepted. He untied her and left her alive for the time being. Then he bundled the owner's body, shoved it into a dumpster, and tidied the office before following the secretary as she drove him home. During the ride, she kept begging, promising anything if he spared her. At her garage, she tried to scream and run when they arrived, hoping someone would hear, but no one did. He forced the garage open, dragged her inside, and she finally gave him the names he wanted, even showing a postcard that identified who had ordered the hit. Once he had the information, he snapped her neck and shoved her down the stairs to make the death look like an accident. He burned the handler's body in a storage unit and scattered the ashes from a bridge so there would be nothing to trace. That night, no one suspected him. He cleaned the bus thoroughly, got rid of the fake license plate, and returned the vehicle to the rental agency the next day. Then he flew back to Florida to go after the 2 killers who had assaulted his girlfriend. He chose to find the man first. Watching the house, he noticed several men outside playing with a dog. One of them limped, a detail he recognized. He waited all day for an opening. In the evening, he followed them to a casino and kept them under surveillance. Around midnight, he went back to the house and waited. When the male killer returned alone, he set his plan in motion. The dog barked as he approached, so he fed it something sedative-laced to put it to sleep. With the dog down, he slipped inside. The killer had expected trouble and attacked. A savage fight broke out. They traded blows until the intruder seemed to be losing and pulled a gun. The assassin had already prepared for that. He'd hidden in another room. He taunted, "John, I know your real name. Come finish this and destroy the evidence." John, who'd glimpsed his face earlier, moved toward the room. The assassin used the moment, grabbed the gun through the door, and shot, killing John. The dog, roused by the gunshot, ran to its owner's side, but the assassin had already left and locked the animal in the garage. He tossed a petrol bomb at the house. It ignited, and a massive explosion followed. Next, he targeted Teresa, the woman who had been part of torturing his girlfriend. He flew to New York under a false name, rented a car, and drove to her neighborhood. He watched her house all day. That night, he saw Teresa leave for an upscale restaurant with a man. After the man left, the assassin entered the restaurant and confronted her. Teresa recognized him and knew what he intended. She ordered an expensive drink and confessed, "I did it on a client's orders. I have no personal grudge against you or your girlfriend. I opposed the torture. My partner went too far when you couldn't be found. I wanted to finish it quickly." Even after hearing her explanation, he replied, "I won't let you go." He led her away to an empty park to decide her fate. As they went down the stairs, Teresa slipped and reached out for help. The killer refused to grab her hand. He shot her instead, and she tumbled down the steps. She had a hidden knife and could have attacked at any moment, but she didn't. He left the park immediately and flew to Chicago to hunt the man who'd ordered the hit. After digging into the client, he learned the man was very wealthy, which made a straight-up hit risky, so he began surveilling the client's home and daily habits. When the client drove out of his garage, the killer acted like a passerby and tried to enter. He found the door locked, took photos of the lock to study later, and ordered a device that could clone it. He moved money into an overseas account under the name Jefferson to cover his tracks, bought a gun from a local dealer, and when the cloning device arrived, he booked a gym session on the client's floor. He lifted a worker's pass from a cleaner, duplicated it, and used the fake card to get into the building and up to the client's door. The client, not recognizing him, demanded, "Who are you? How did you get in?" The killer produced the postcard the secretary had shown him, the one that named the person who paid for the job. Seeing the card, the client suddenly recalled the failed operation. He protested, "I had nothing to do with this." The killer explained how, after the mission failed, the handler refused to accept the loss. Humans make mistakes, but your handler didn't see it that way. He blamed the operative and demanded another $2,500 to finish the job, to kill you and erase every trace. That's when it clicked. The client hadn't ordered the hit. His own handler had. The handler, fearing exposure if the killer survived, had betrayed him to protect himself. The client swore he hadn't sent those two assassins, and after hearing him out, the killer believed him. Before leaving, he warned the client never to speak his name. The terrified client agreed. The killer returned to the Dominican Republic and started to rebuild his life. He cared for his girlfriend as she recovered, walked away from his violent past, and tried to live quietly, far from blood and revenge. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.